Hi everybody, this is Jim Horowitz. Do you hate political posts? I do too. That's why this video is going to be my recipe for chicken lollipops. Now if you're anything like me, you love chicken legs, but they're kind of a pain to eat. These chicken lollipops are great because what you're doing is you're going to be cutting the tendons and you're going to push that meat all the way down. And you're going to be removing some of that junk. There's a bone that's next to the big bone. When these legs are fully cooked, you're going to be just taking them like on a stick, and you're going to be able to take a bite. They're going to come free off the bone. They're going to be delicious. So this is how I do it. What we're going to need are some ingredients. You need some seasoning. We're going to need a half-size aluminum pan. Of course, you need your chicken legs. We need some aluminum foil. I like to use some food-safe gloves. And then for our glaze, we're going to need some hot sauce, some honey, and some barbecue sauce. We're also going to need a cutting board and a sharp knife. All right, and we'll also need a stick of butter. I failed to mention that. So what we're going to do, and by the way, my camera person today is Rachel. So Rachel, do you want to turn around and say hi to everybody?
Hi.
And also flipped it, but that's fine.
I don't know how.
That's fine. All right, come a little closer, Rach. So what we're gonna do with this leg is we're just gonna make a cut right below the knuckle. And we're gonna separate. And what you wanna do is make sure that you cut these tendons that are in there. So you wanna take your knife, get in there and just cut those tendons, get them out of the way. Once that's done, you're gonna now want to take this piece of skin and peel it off the knuckle, and you should be able to get your finger in there. Sometimes they're a little rough. It may help to use a paper towel, but you wanna get that skin, just take that right off the knuckle. Now what you're left with is the skin and the meat and some tendons, and you wanna just push that down. Push it down, make it so that it can stand on its own. When you do that, you're gonna see these tendons. Now, you can use a pair of kitchen shears. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. Get a pair of shears, and you're gonna wanna just cut that tendon as best you can. Get it, trim that up. If you're not a fan of the skin, feel free to take that off. What we're going to try to achieve is bite through skin. Now, when you start to get into here, you're gonna feel, Rach, I don't know if you can show this, but you're gonna feel this little bone that's off the side. So I just wanna separate that from the larger bone and just get down there and cut that out. So I kind of just broke it. And I'm gonna cut out this bone. Because number one, we don't want to stab ourselves when we're pushing this all the way down, and we also don't want to eat it. All right, so once you're happy with that, that's good to go. And through the miracle of modern technology, the chicken legs are prepared. Now, I will admit, it's a pain in the butt to prepare all these legs, but it's definitely worth it in the end. What we're gonna do now is season. Now I am using 2 rubs. I have this is called an Asian persuasion, which is granulated honey, salt, garlic, coriander, ginger. And then a basic barbecue rub, this is called a honey rib rub. And that's gonna give it a great color. So what we're gonna do is just sprinkle some rub. Rach, you getting in here? Make sure you get some of this color. You're gonna see, it's gonna turn a nice little red color. There we go. Now, while you're prepping, what you can do is get your smoker or your grill preheated to 300 degrees. The reason we want to go 300 is chicken requires a little bit of a higher temperature in order to get your skin bite through. There's nothing worse than biting into chicken and having rubbery skin that comes off in one slab and hits you in the chin. It's still tasty, but it's just not fun. Okay, these look good. Our next step is going to be, and this is optional. I like to do it because I like these bones to stay clean. So we're gonna wrap them in some aluminum foil. If you don't do that, it's okay. You're just gonna have darker, blacker bones here. On the competition circuit, we like to have them present well, and that's why we put some foil on it. Otherwise, you can skip that step. But again, I like the way it looks, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, so all the legs now have foil on them. The next thing I'm going to do is put a stick of butter in the pan. Now this is going to provide moisture and some flavor. It's not going to add a lot of fat to the chicken. And it's not entirely a necessary step. I've done it without, but the last batch I did it with the butter, and it might have been the best batch I've ever done. So we're just gonna put that stick in there. We're gonna put it in the smoker. That butter's gonna melt. It's gonna kind of baste, or what's the word? It's gonna sit in the melted butter for a little bit. It's gonna cook for 2 hours at 300 degrees. What we wanna do is get that target temperature to about 165 to 170 degrees. After about 2 hours at 300, that should happen. And in the meantime, we're going to make a glaze. So be right back. Follow me out to the smoker. Hello, Phoebe. My smoker is almost at 300 degrees. Put this in. Let that cook for 2 hours. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're going to make the glaze. Now this is optional. I like barbecue sauce on my chicken. But what we do with the glaze is we're gonna thin it out. We're gonna add some extra flavors and basically just customize it. So the family really likes Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, so we're gonna take that. The apple cider vinegar is gonna be used to thin it out a little bit. I like a sweet heat, so there's no heat in the Sweet Baby Ray's. However, a little bit of hot sauce will add some heat to it, and honey adds a little bit more sweet. So let's make our glaze. Now I don't really measure when it comes to this glaze. I'm just going to make sure that there is enough sauce in this pot to cover the chicken legs when I dip them in. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of barbecue sauce. I happen to just have a little bit of vinegar here. Gonna add about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more. Yeah, this might take a while. Come on, honey. And I'm only gonna add about a tablespoon of honey. Excuse me. Again, this is to your liking. Add as much, as little, add whatever you want. That's the beauty of barbecue. All right, so here I have Frank's Red Hot. Again, use whatever you want. This is gonna be just a couple of dashes because the rest of the family doesn't really like heat as much, but this adds a nice little tingle to your tongue. So I'll just do a little bit. I'm gonna put that over medium to low heat. I'm gonna whisk that and heat this until, can you get in there, Rach? Make sure that we're showing that. I'm just gonna heat this until the sauce thins out. And if it doesn't thin, feel free to add more vinegar. You can add water. You can add apple juice. Whatever flavors you like or that you want to try, add it. Important thing with the barbecue sauce is you don't want this on too high of a flame because those sugars will start to burn, and we don't want to burn this. make sure you taste it. Grab a little spoon, taste it, make sure it's to your liking. If it tastes good, right out of the pot, it's gonna be delicious on the chicken. Let me taste it.
Can I taste it?
Of course you can taste it.
Yay!
Baby spoons come in handy with tastings. Never reuse your spoon.
Can I taste?
Yes, you can taste. Ah, that's beautiful. Do you want me to feed you? Watch your camera here.
Delicious.
Yeah, wait till you taste that tingle on your tongue. You taste it?
Tasted it on my throat.
And what do you think?
Delicious.
It is delicious. Do you want to try some on your chicken? All right, Rach, why don't you get in here? Let's just look at the consistency of this glaze. And you can see that it's not really sticking to this whisk. You know, it's nice and thin, not overly thin. It's not watery, but it's a perfect consistency. That when we dip the chicken legs in, it will stick to the legs and set nicely. I'm not sure if we got this before. Anyway, I just pulled the chicken off the smoker. I'm now removing the aluminum foil, and then we're going to glaze. And I'll tell you what, these smell so good. Okay. Now to glaze. Now another thing that I did, not a lot of people have it, but I have a large tray and I also have a wire rack inside. That just makes this a little easier. So what we're gonna do is take the glaze and just take the chicken, dip it right in, and then set it right back on the rack. Almost looks like a caramel apple. And then what we're gonna do is put this back on the grill or the smoker and let this sauce set. It should go on for maybe another 15 minutes. We're not doing any more cooking. We just want this glaze to set. Just enough glaze for 10 legs. A little left over. I would probably discard the rest of this glaze. It's not worth saving. And since it's had chicken dipped into it, you would have to probably bring it to a boil in order to use it again, even though the chicken is cooked. But it's best to just discard it. These legs will go on the smoker for another 15 minutes. Okay, see you soon. Okay, the sauce is set, so I'm gonna bring it in and plate it, and then we're gonna enjoy it. All right, well, everything is plated. Everything looks and smells great. Now it's time to dig in. All right, everybody, go ahead, grab a leg.
Grab a leg.
Yeah, honey, you too.
Grab a leg.
All right, let's get a reaction. Sorry we have to be eating in front of y'all, but... Nothing like being put on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, take a bite.
Okay.
Oh, I got a thumbs up from Amy.
Amy.
What do you think, Rebecca? You're liking it too. Rachel, let's go. Take a bite.
I don't like being on camera.
That's okay. You love being on camera. What are you talking about?
I like being the camera person.
Oh, okay. Well, come on. I turned it off. Don't worry about it.
Really?
Yes, it's off.
It's still on, isn't it?
So that's my chicken leg video. I hope you liked it. Please like or comment on this video. And if you haven't done so, please make sure you send in your ballots. We have less than a week. Thank you.